Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eye Girl 69. How y'all doing? Well, today is day 76 of year one. Really? It's only 76 days into this year? Part of me already feels like it should be already almost over. All the shit we've been through. I'm not doing too good, mentally or emotionally. Sometimes I wonder why I even bother anymore with anything. I made another video a little bit ago. I don't know if I uploaded. I doubt it. I ended it after about 10 minutes of rambling. I was like, why am I even talking about this? So then I decided, well, I'll go ahead and make another video and just sit here and talk about whatever. It's not like anybody cares anyway, you know? Or I don't really feel like people care because I don't have anybody in my life to care other than my daughter, my grandchildren. They love me. It's so hard trying to get to know people, you know? It's hard to try to develop new friendships. It's hard to know if you're even going to be accepted for who you are. Me, I don't trust people like I used to. But there's this part of me that hopes one day I can meet someone, not for a relationship, but meet somebody. Meet a man or a woman that I can be friends with. Prefer a woman simply because um, I don't want to be friends with a man and it can be complicated. Not that I'm not willing, because I am willing. Um, See, my problem is I expect others to not behave like me. I don't even know what I'm thinking. It's just there's so much expectations nowadays where relationships are concerned, you know? Um, I don't have a lot of money to go out and do things. Most friendships rely on some sort of entertainment, something in common. I'm really a very boring person when it comes down to it because of the fact that I don't have money to go out and do things. But when I was younger, in my younger years, the things that I liked to do for entertainment was I liked to go to the movies. I liked to go to concerts. I liked to go out to different types of restaurants. I liked to go to the mall and go window shopping. I liked to go out to the bars on occasion and go dancing and have a few drinks. Um, Nowadays, I don't go to bars because I don't drink now anymore. Even though I could probably go to a club or something just to dance. I don't know how well I'd be able to dance because it's been a while since I've done it. Um, Concerts are too expensive nowadays. Going to a movie, that's expensive nowadays. Going out to eat just to eat a decent meal, you're going to spend at least $100. I mean, when I took Kelsey out for dinner, yeah, we kind of went overboard as far as like the alcohol was concerned. But if I had had those extra two shots and hadn't have bought that extra beer, that probably would have saved me $15. So then instead of me paying 82, I would have been paying more like 67. Um, but even that, even just 60, 50, 60, 70 bucks just for an appetizer, a couple of drinks, uh, an entree, and then, we didn't even have to pay for dessert because Kelsey had a coupon because it was her birthday. We still spent $82 though. I just, you know, everything costs money nowadays. Anything just for entertainment, you know? I barely can afford to pay my bills. I don't have a TV or any kind of way to watch movies, you know? I mean, if I did have any kind of entertainment here at home, I probably would be willing to try to invite people over every now and then. Be like, hey, come over, let's watch this movie, blah, blah, blah. Pop up some popcorn and smoke some weed or whatever. I just find this life very mundane. There is no challenge in life other than trying to make it through each day of life. Sometimes I wonder what what is life worth living, you know? I don't think there's anything I really specifically want to do in my life other than travel. Not have any responsibilities like working a job to pay to keep a roof over my head. I mean, I guess I could walk away from it all, but what good would that do me? You know? What good would it do me? Just to walk away from all of this. I feel like I've come too far in life from where I was to want to just let go of it all again, you know? But sometimes I wonder what's the point? What's the point in having a cube to house you and all your stuff, you know? I mean, looking back on my life, probably one of the happiest moments of my life was, believe it or not, when I was homeless. Why? because I didn't have any responsibilities to anybody but to myself and to Daryl. And the same for him. He didn't have anybody responsibilities to anybody but to himself and to me. We were happy. We were free. And none of the things going on in the world affected us. Because I didn't keep up with it. I didn't. I wasn't glued to my screen, you know? Because, well, because of the situation we were in, I didn't have a lot of data. I was using Obama phones. They gave you so much data a month. Once that was gone, you couldn't get on the internet. Yeah, I had a place I could run down the road about a half a mile and charge up my devices and jump on Wi-Fi, which was free. Um, but it took a lot of effort and energy to walk that half a mile. And most of the time when I was going that way, I wasn't going to come back empty-handed as far as like with what. I was going to make sure that the time that I utilized to walk to this place and utilize their facilities was going to be, worth it for me in some shape, form, or fashion. Because Daryl and I only showered maybe once a week for sure. Sometimes twice a week for me. It depended on if I could get up to the church on a Tuesday to catch the laundry and shower bus that they had there. If I was one of the first ones in line, then I was always guaranteed a shower and I was always guaranteed my laundry getting washed. So, yes, I got at least 2 showers a week. They're all stuck with one. But sometimes when we'd go down to the well springs, we could, do bird baths in some of the bathrooms that they had. We didn't have no income other than relying on the goodness of others and the kindness of others. We would go out to a street corner that was just down the street, about half a mile from where we stayed. Fly a sign. People give us stuff. Give us money, food, drinks, clothes, weed. So it seemed like we always had our bases covered. That everything that we needed always seemed to come at the right time. You know? We kept our camp very clean. We took our trash out every other day. It was just a simple life, that we led. And we chose what we got to do with it. Like, if I woke up one day, it didn't feel very good, but I'd planned the night before, so me and Daryl talked about what we were going to do the next day. And I was like, yeah, I need to go to town and pick up this, and this, or whatever I was going to do. But if I woke up the next day and I didn't feel like doing it, or uh, if the weather had turned different and it wasn't as good of a day to get out and about and go run errands or whatever, I didn't have to do it. Daryl and I wasn't the type that we always made sure we had plenty of supplies on hand. You know, we weren't going to run all of our supplies out and then have to, run out and make sure we re-upped our supplies. No, I was always re-upping our supplies. Every time I went into town, I knew what we needed. I knew what we was running low on, things like that. Life just seemed simpler, easier, even though we were living outside and having to deal with the elements and the weather and not having the luxuries of a bathroom or the luxuries of a shower or the luxuries of a full-blown kitchen like I've got here behind me. Our refrigerator. We didn't have those luxuries, but we survived. We ate every day. We did our things that we needed to do. But most of the time, we just hung out and enjoyed life and enjoyed each other. And basically, we didn't involve ourselves in anything that was going on in the outside world. We'd hear things every now and then, but it wasn't like we were completely in tune to what was going on. Because it didn't matter what was going on out there because it didn't really affect us. You know? We were still able to eat every day. We were still able to make what we needed to make every day. We were still able to clean up our area, just do what we had to do. But after Daryl died, I just knew that I couldn't do it anymore on my own. Because one of us was always at camp when the other one was gone. Why? So we made sure that our stuff remained our stuff. So other people wouldn't just come along and help themselves to our things. So if I was out there on my own, well, at that point of the game, I had Daryl's guitar, I had his pedal board, uh, his amplifier, and all his things to deal with on top of my stuff. Uh, I wasn't going to be able to carry his guitar with me everywhere I went. And I definitely wasn't going to just allow somebody to come in and take that guitar. It was it was worth some money. I mean, when I did sell it to a long-term friend of ours, she paid me $1,500 because Daryl and I had sort of discussed how much he thought that we could give for his guitar if it ever came down to it. Not that he was going to sell his guitar when he was alive, but I just wanted to know what he thought it was worth based off his knowledge of guitars and what all he had done to his guitar, you know, and the type of shape it was in and all that. So he said that he wouldn't take anything less than 1,500 for it. So that was my thought process too. And she paid me 1,500 for it. But I had his guitar for a couple years. Well, he died in January of 2018, and I didn't sell it until October of 2020. So I had it for almost 3 years after he died, before I actually sold it. When I left Oregon and had it with me, and I traveled for 3 weeks before I got to my daughter's, I was very, very paranoid having it. I always had to keep it covered up and not let it be made known of what I had. But when I first started traveling in 2020, I got to that friend's house that bought the guitar from me probably 3 or 4 days after I'd left Denver. So I didn't have to, you know, carry it with me for an extended length of time while I was on the road. And after she bought it, and then I received my one lump sum of my unemployment, I was good to go wherever I wanted. And that's what I did. Now, Daryl and I, we was able to accomplish traveling many states, many cities with no money in our pocket. We stuck our thumbs out, or we worked in the town and city enough to save up money to get us a bus ticket out of that town. Or we would sometimes get lucky. I was in a couple of groups on Facebook, rideshare groups, couch surfing coalition group, all that, where we was able to get a couple of rides from people from those groups that happened to be in our area that was heading the direction we were heading. Nowadays, even if I have my vehicle, I still have to pay car insurance every month or twice a year. And I just don't have that kind of cash to shell out all in one shot, you know? And then I still have to pay my cell phone bill. Now, I can say one thing. If I did decide to do that, I DoorDash. And I go DoorDash anywhere I want, any city I want. As long as I'm in good standing, and all I have to do once I get in a new zone is to verify my identity. They scan my face and boom, I'm on. That's only when you're entering a new zone or an area that you haven't worked before, like a city you've never worked before or whatever. Even me working Norman, they had made me verify myself a couple of times to work Norman as well. But I know the ability's there, you know. So I definitely would be saving myself $650 a month plus my electric bill. But I don't want to live in a car. I don't want to sleep in a car. The car I have now is way smaller than the van that I had. At least if I had my van still, it definitely was livable. And I could have built it out and put a bed in there and rewired it and all that. I just didn't have the funds to really do it. I think I wanted to. I did have the funds to do it, but I just didn't do it because I knew the van was on its last leg, so to speak. And I didn't want to put a lot of money into something that I knew I was eventually just not going to have anyway. You know? But if I'd have had a little bit of a newer van that didn't have as much mileage and whose body was in a little bit better shape, I definitely probably would have invested money and built it up and had a good place to call home, you know, out on the road. Or even paying to, stay in a campground or something. I don't know. I'm just over the mundaneness of life. The just getting up to go to work just to pay the bills kind of scenario is pretty depressing. It's pretty depressing not having any friends. It's pretty depressing not having somebody to talk to. It's pretty depressing having to deal with my issues on my own. Not that I'm a grown up. Not that I'm not a grown up and can't deal with those things on my own. But sometimes it's good just to have somebody to talk to bounce ideas off of. And I can't always just have Kelsey to be the only one I can talk to, you know? Humans need interaction with other humans. It's essential. It's vital, and I definitely put out the effort when it comes to connecting with humans. But what I have found is that most other humans don't like to carry the ball as much as I do. They usually drop the ball along the way, and after a while, I just quit trying, you know. And then after a while, they're usually not making the effort any more than I am. And then we just kind of go our separate ways, or be one of those friends that just says hi to you every now and then, and that's about it. No real substance left in it. I don't know if I'll ever find what I'm looking for. Who knows? But this is me, Candy, aka Brown Eye Girl 69, and just having a little discussion about how I feel and how I've been feeling. It's time for me to take off the mask. Not that I've ever pretended, but sometimes I probably smile more than what I feel like on the inside. Anyways, peace, love, hugs, and hugs. It's day 76 of year one, St. Patrick's Day. Till the next time, I'm out.